We've completed another revolution around the sun. So what has crypto done in that span of time? We'll find out in this video as we cover the most important insights from our 2023 annual crypto industry report. As usual, we start with our review of the overall crypto market, which has climbed 108% in 2023, or 869 billion in absolute terms. Most of these gains, 607 billion, came just in Q4. Average trading volume in Q4 was almost double that of Q3, however, is still 32% down compared to 2022's average. Over 2023, Bitcoin dominance has soared to 47.8%, up from 38.6%. This has eaten away at the market share of all other top 7 cryptos, except for Solana, which also saw a significant growth in market share from 0.4% to 2.5%, flipping XRP and USDC at number 5 and number 6 respectively. At one point, Solana even flipped BNB briefly to take the number 4 place of cryptos by market cap. Stablecoins, which saw a decrease in dominance, also indicates an inflow of fiat currency into the market, most of this going into Bitcoin. Interestingly, others saw a slight increase despite Bitcoin dominance increasing, and this may be explained by the various new tokens like TIA, SEI, ARB, and more, which popped into existence sometime in the year and are already in the top 50 by market cap. Taking a look at stablecoins, the top 15 stablecoins saw a 6% decline in market cap compared to the end of last year. The predominant narrative here is certainly that USDT has solidified its position as the number 1 stablecoin, with its market share climbing from 49% to 71% over the course of 2023. USDT benefited from the decline of USDC, which lost 45% or 20 billion of its market cap, as holders lost some confidence after its brief depegging incident during the US banking crisis in March. BUSD has also fallen out of the picture as its phase out is almost complete. On slide 9, we have a new inclusion into our report, which is the top trending CoinGecko categories, as measured by web traffic to our coin category pages. The top 15 categories commanded 72% of our web traffic, with the top 3 in 2023 being AI, GameFi, and meme coins. Solana ecosystem came in 4th place, while BRC20s, RWA, and DPIN, or Decentralized Physical Infrastructure Networks, which were new categories in 2023, also made it into the top 15. The next slide notes down some of the highlights and lowlights of 2023. Bankruptcies and a slew of legal action against crypto businesses were among the lowlights of the year. However, we also saw important developments, such as the launch of ordinals on Bitcoin, the Ethereum Shapella upgrade, BlackRock and others' applications for spot Bitcoin ETFs, regulatory wins secured by Grayscale and Ripple, and Mt. Gox initiating repayment to its creditors. 2023 was also a year filled with new project launches, with countless L2s, L1s like SEI, SUI, Aptos, and modular chains like Celestia entering the scene. This video is brought to you by BingX, a leading crypto exchange with over 10 million users worldwide. BingX offers spot, derivatives, copy trading, and asset management. In 2024, BingX proudly became Chelsea FC's principal partner. Then we also have a dedicated slide for notable bugs and exploits, where at least 2 billion was lost to 463 exploits in 2023. 66% of these losses came from just the top 6 hacks. Multi-chain, which lost 231 million. Euler Finance, which lost 196 million. Polynex, 123 million. BonkDAO at 120 million. And Atomic Wallet with 115 million lost. One pretty scary exploit was the Ledger Connect Kit exploit in December, which injected malicious code into dApps that were using the open source software which connected dApps to wallets. Fortunately, the exploit was quickly spotted and patched, and the losses only totaled about 600,000, low by crypto exploit standards. As for the number 1 crypto, Bitcoin saw an almost up-only year in 2023 with a 100 and 55% increase. As a rally at the start of the year was doused with more fuel with the shock announcement of spot Bitcoin ETF filings from the largest asset manager BlackRock, with other big names following suit. Bullishness could also be due to the expectations of interest rate cuts by the Fed in 2024. Since the approval of the spot Bitcoin ETFs on January 10th, Bitcoin made another leg up to top 48.5K before retracing to about 42K at the time of shooting. As for Bitcoin mining, this chart will be looking pretty similar for anyone that has been watching it since Q2 of 2022. This is because hash rate has continued to see continuous quarter-on-quarter growth since then, with a 105% or over 2 times increase in 2023. Miners continue to expand in anticipation of the next Bitcoin halving in April, with new site and ASIC purchases by big names like Marathon Digital, BitOrigin, Riot, Cypher, and Hive. Public listed Bitcoin mining company stocks have also been on a tear, with Cypher, Marathon, CleanSpark, and Riot recording gains of 615, 556, 425, and 343% respectively, outperforming Bitcoin. Compared to other major asset classes though, Bitcoin was still by far the outperformer of the year, though the Nasdaq and S&P 500 also posted strong returns with a 42% and 24% gain respectively. Gold also climbed by 13%, while the biggest loser of 2023 would be crude oil, which saw its first annual decline since 2020. This could be sparked by fears of oversupply from production outside the OPEC countries, though recent escalating tensions in the Middle East could serve as a supply disruptor.
The global economy could enter a recession.
Insriptions also deserve a highlight in 2023, as it has brought the frenzy of NFTs and meme coins to Bitcoin.
NFTs are making a corporate comeback.
And the trading of inscriptions has led to a boom for miners as transaction fees skyrocket. December 17 saw the highest ever daily total transaction fees paid to Bitcoin miners at 23.7 million. And total inscriptions on the Bitcoin network reached 52.8 million at the end of 2023. As for Ethereum, it saw a 91% return in 2023, though compared to Bitcoin and even many other altcoins, it has been lagging behind. It rallied alongside Bitcoin at the start of the year, however saw a long consolidation from Q2 to Q3 before rallying again in Q4 alongside the rest of the market. However, now with the spot Bitcoin ETFs approved, eyes may now turn to the next expected in line. In case anyone has forgotten, BlackRock has also filed for a spot ETH ETF back in November.
The SEC delays its decision on BlackRock's spot Ethereum ETF.
The network also saw the Denken upgrade that would see EIP 4844 or Proto-Denk sharding scheduled for the first half of this year. This is expected to reduce gas fees and boost network efficiency. Aside from that, it's worth noting that ETH also posted its first deflationary year with a net burn of 1.09 million ETH in 2023. Layer 2 adoption has also continued to climb with over 1.3 billion cumulative transactions in 2023, with Arbitrum taking the lead, processing almost the same amount of transactions as the Ethereum mainnet. Solana's rise from the ashes also cannot be ignored, with the Sol token climbing over 10 times in 2023 and trading volume surging along with it in Q4. The resurgence of interest can be attributed to a number of bullish narratives going for it, such as its resilience post-FTX, OPOS, or only possible on Solana, referring to its unique abilities as a performant monolithic layer 1 and a proliferation of popular meme coins like Bonk, WIF, and also an uptick of airdrops by projects in its ecosystem like Jup, Pyth, and more incoming. Its blazing speed, cheap fees, and friendly dApps also make for a great UX, which promotes onboarding of new users. DeFi also saw a resurgence, climbing climbing by about 129%, which meant it outperformed the overall crypto market, which only climbed 108%. Appetite for leverage has also spurred an increase in yields for stablecoins, which have now surpassed the TradFi risk-free rate of short-term UST bills, which sits slightly under 5% currently. Overall, TVL and DeFi has grown by 56%, with Ethereum remaining uncontested yet again. Solana has unsurprisingly seen a major revival in 2023, growing its TVL by 441%, or 447 million. Though largely going under the radar, Tron is now the second largest chain by TVL, outpacing BNB chain. Taking a look at the different DeFi sectors, liquid staking had risen to the top in Q4 2023, while TVL on yield farms had risen by a whopping 74 times, despite them taking up only about 1% of overall TVL market share. NFT trading volume across the top 10 chains saw an 80% increase, however, remains less than half of what it was in 2022. While Ethereum continues to be the main NFT chain in 2023, capturing 72% of overall trading volume, it has lost significant market share to Bitcoin and Solana, particularly in December. I wouldn't believe it if someone told me this 1 year ago, but Bitcoin actually emerged as the top NFT network in December, fueled by the ordinals and BRC20 craze. As for crypto exchanges, the TLDR of it is that there was recovery across the board in 2023, with spot and perpetual trading volumes and open interest seeing a significant increase in both decentralized and centralized exchanges. This indicates revived interest and appetite for speculation in the crypto markets. Whew, that was a lot to cover, but that's crypto in 2023 for you. You can find the link to read the full report for even more information in the description box below. Which information did you find most insightful? Well, let us know in the comments, and also watch this video next for some bull run tips that you can't miss out on.